And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that every single day celebrates the people, the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. Look, if you're a regular listener of this show, you know that I say what I'm about to say at least 2 or 3 times a week. But if you're not a regular listener, you're hearing sort of for the first time, of course, you're just hearing this for the first time. But this is the kind of thing that you need to say over and over and over again, because it helps create sort of a common language around this economic engine that I call coastal Mississippi. But essentially, you have the bookends with Ingalls and Chevron on one end. You have Stennis Space Center on the other end. In between, you have tourism and a huge tourism economy. You have gaming. You have so much around the hospitality sector that we could talk about it for the next several hours. The contributions that they're making and employing people and generating revenue for coastal Mississippi is really important, but not just important for coastal Mississippi. It's important to the rest of the state that this economic engine we call coastal Mississippi continues to hum along. And we've done well over the many years. We've done well to recover from Hurricane Katrina. But if you go back and listen to my last conversation with Ashley Edwards, there are a lot of red flags as it relates to our economy, and we really need to be focused on that. And there are things we can do strategically to address those things, but we cannot be blind to it. If we are, then our competitors will come along and continue to take our businesses and pieces of our economy away from us. Okay, as it relates to gaming and tourism, we can't. What more can I say about how important the gaming industry is to us? I can't tell you. I could talk again. We could talk about that for the next several hours in terms of revenue generated, in terms of numbers of the people employed, in terms of the role they play in our communities to build better communities. Man, it is very significant, and it's really important to the state of Mississippi. I've invited my friend Michael Sunderman, who's the president and publisher of M2 Media. Just so you know. They've published South Mississippi Living, Discover South Mississippi, Jackpot Magazine, and Mississippi Gaming News. I've invited Mike to join us today just to find out what the latest is in his world. He's super engaged in the community. We'll talk about that as well. But I'm interested in where Mississippi stands now. I mean, on the potential of hitting a $3 billion gaming market statewide. Holy mackerel. But anyway, without any further ado, let me just say, how you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great, Ricky. How are you?
I'm doing super good. For our Facebook and YouTube audience, you can see Michael's obviously sitting in his office. Lots of memorabilia around, a U.S. Open poster in the background for the radio audience. Michael's a huge golfer. He loves to golf. He's had many opportunities to witness the Masters in person. Golf plays a big part in your life, doesn't it, buddy?
It does. It's kind of like your fishing and outdoors is your therapy. Golf is my therapy. I go out the course by myself a lot of times just to unwind and think about things and get all my thoughts straight and then head back to the office. So, but I love it.
Yeah, we all need our outlet, our catharsis, Yep. Someone asked me one day, why don't you play golf? I said, well, I used to play once a year just to remind myself why I don't play. Because you can't be... You had to be good at it. It's all about muscle memory, and you got to go practice a bunch. And with fishing and hunting being such a big part of my life and just enjoying the outdoors, it's hard to do both and be good at it. And so I was just very frustrated by golf and just kind of backed away from it. But it's been a great outlet for you, though, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. And then when I had my wreck 3 years ago, I really didn't think I'd ever play golf again. I couldn't stand up. I really couldn't walk. Then when I started playing golf about a year into it, I couldn't hit a ball 200 yards. And then, through therapy and a lot of good doctors on the coast, I played in a tournament a couple months ago and shot 369. So
wow.
I'm kind of back to where I was pre-wreck.
That's good to hear. And I know I followed that journey with you. You got rear-ended and it was just a terrible accident. You're lucky to be alive, but the residual impact on you physically over those many months, even years since that accident, it's been quite a challenge for you, hasn't it?
It has. There's always the physical side, which good doctors can help you get through that. Chiropractors like Jeremy Jernigan. But I tell you, mentally, Ricky, the impact of a severe concussion, it lasted for about 18 months. I literally could see you on the street. I've known you for 20-some years, and I could not remember your name. And I'd sit at my office and just look down, and I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I literally couldn't concentrate for 5 minutes. And somehow or other we had a record year that year. So maybe I'm not that important to the business, I guess what I'm saying.
Well, that's when it pays to have a good team. But man, that for someone, okay, the thing that's always impressed me about you, even when I was publisher of the Sun Herald and you were starting Jackpot magazine and making your mark here in Coastal Mississippi and eventually starting South Mississippi Living magazine, is that you were competitive but always had tremendous respect for you. Your ability, your willingness, your dogged determination to build relationships and get out there and make a difference in the community. You are big on each person having their own specific relationship with you. Knowing names and knowing people and knowing lots about them is really the key to your success. Boy, it had to be frustrating that you could see someone and not remember their name.
Yeah, thank God, I had my beautiful wife Mary next to me, and I say, baby, who's coming? Who's walking towards me? And she kind of helped me out a little bit. So yeah, but I'm like probably 95% back now, and the doctor said that's about as good as it's gonna get. So
yeah, well, that's good. Well, Mary, M2 Media is Michael and Mary.
Yep,
she's been a terrific partner, hasn't she?
Absolutely. And just December, we just celebrated 15 years with South Mississippi Living. My staff surprised me. They put a little beautiful display out in our lobby for us for 15 years. We've had that. We've had Jackpot for close to 3 decades now. All throughout the state, we service all the casinos. Coastal Mississippi, we do their fulfillment magazine. Discover Coastal Mississippi. We do gaming news for the Gaming and Hospitality Association. We do Peter Anson Festival guides. We do their Ocean Spring shopping guide. We just picked up Hancock County Play on the Bay. So there's a lot of things that we do that I guess are a little under the radar that people don't see. But and then we really focus on trying to help out charities as much as we possibly can. So,
well, I mean, publishing. Once you publish, why not find more ways to publish?
That's right. Yeah.
When you can combine that with your community work, I mean, it seems to me to be a win-win. And in a day when a lot of printed publications have struggled, you guys have sort of found your way, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. The headwind facing our industry, as you know, is inflation. I've been notified last month that expect our printing price to go up 12.5% to 15%. Trucking and shipping at least 20% up. So it's always a struggle, and those are big hits. Those are distribution, printing, and payroll. Those are your 3 big buckets in my business of expenses. So 2 out of the 3 are going up. So we'll adjust. We'll make adjustments and do our best.
How well I remember. And the one thing about retirement that I don't miss, budgeting and having to explain every single month why this might be a little more than we expected or a little bit less than we expected. The life of a CEO, man, it can be a very thankless job at times.
Yeah, month to month. What have you done for me lately? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I lived in that world for, long before I became a CEO, but then the last 15, 16 years of my life, I know that world well. I don't miss it, buddy. I don't miss it. And the stress level on my life these days is I can't tell you how much lower it is.
Yeah, well, my stress level's a lot lower than it used to be when I was at Morris. So, I used to have 90 newspapers. Now I have, less than 10. So, but I always looked at budgeting, and I told everyone that I managed, budgeting is your chance to make improvements, to fix your flaws and look for your weaknesses and accelerate your positives. That's what a budget is. Don't dread these things. And I brought back zero-based budgeting, meaning let's start from scratch. Let's just not say that, hey, payroll is this, so I'm going to go up 3%. No, rethink your business. Do you need all those people, or do we need more people? If we brought more people on, can we grow revenue? So that's how I looked at budgeting. I looked at it as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, that's so true. And what happened in the final, say, 10 or 15 years of my career, benchmarking became a big deal. So when I was with the Newhouse organization, Advanced Condé Nast, we could compare amongst ourselves and even go outside of our industry in the magazines, et cetera. And then at Knight Ridder and McClatchy, we could do the same thing. So you're always comparing yourself against your peers and seeing where the opportunities were. And literally, you could zero in as deep as you wanted to go to find where those opportunities might be. How's business for you guys these days?
It's solid. You always wish for more, but we bounced back after 2020, so that was a good thing. That was sort of a disaster year for most everybody, and we have really a good outlook on next year. We just did all the budgets and planning of the issues out for 2022, and looks like it's going to be another good solid year.
Well, this is Michael Sunderman. He is a co-owner, president, and publisher of M2 Media. They publish South Mississippi Living, Discover South Mississippi, Jackpot Magazine, and Mississippi Gaming News. We'll continue our conversation after this break.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, Jonathan Allen here at J. Allen Toyota, I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport, letting you know Toyotathon is on. We have more inventory right now than we've had all year, and we've got a lot more coming. Come see our team and pick out the one that works for you. So think J. Allen Toyotathon.
When it comes to the outdoors, we are one. We live in one of the best places in America to enjoy the great outdoors. So let's talk about it. Super Talk Outdoors with Ricky Mathews. Mondays starting at noon. Here on Super Talk Mississippi. Presented by the Foundation Protecting Our Outdoors Heritage. Listen or watch the show anywhere you get Super Talk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Of outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner every afternoon.